Hello and welcome to computer class. My name is Dave and today we are giving an introduction to video games. In a previous lesson, go back and watch that if you haven't seen it, I talked about GPUs and the graphics cards that put all of these high-end games on screen. And so thought this was a great segue to talk about video games. So what is a video game console? It's a device that outputs a video signal or visual image to display a video game. Could be on a TV, could be on a projector, could be on a high-end gaming monitor. It just outputs something. That's what a video game console is. Could even be a high-end gaming PC, could be an Xbox, it could be a PS5, it could be an Xbox X, whatever. It could be anything that outputs a signal to a display graphically. What is a video game then? It's an electronic game in which players control images on a television or a computer screen. And so that's kind of the point. Now, they don't always have to control necessarily images. Sometimes you're a nameless block of pixels and really not. Sometimes you're like uh, some random games are not exactly fit that definition, if you will. Uh, but the majority of games kind of fit into mainly you play as a player. So it would make sense that this is what the definition is. Then there are two classifications of games, main ones anyway. The first is a AAA game. It's pronounced AAA, literally like that. It's a classification term used for games with the highest development budgets and levels of promotion, or the highest ratings by consensus of professional reviewers. And the A stand for these things. A1 stands for sales. The game must sell 1 million copies or more. A2 stands for high production details, so it has a decent budget, good frame rate, yada 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 yada, on and on. And number 3, high critical success, good review scores by, again, professional reviewers. So that's kind of what the 3 A's stand for. Number 2 are the independent games, or indie games as they're known. And indie games are video games created by individuals or small teams, generally without a video game publisher to have that financial support behind them. And they often focus on innovation and rely on digital distribution, things like Steam Greenlight to get things out, and on and on and on it goes. So, independent games are usually more scrappy, they're not as brilliant and amazing looking. However, there are some independent games that have gone absolutely wild. A great example of this is Minecraft. Started out as a game that was pretty small, and then it just exploded, and now it's got its own conference and things. So, and it's bought by Microsoft. So it's a big deal game now, and so I guess that's the point of the indie game classification is that things start out small and then get bigger and get more popular and become AAA titles, potentially. I guess that's the goal. But the majority of these games stay pretty insignificant, and that's why we have this terminology. We have this movie or YouTube clip I'm gonna link down in the description. It kind of talks about the indie game meaning and shows you whether or not the term actually exists anymore. I think it does. AAA versus indie. You decide after you watch this clip what you think. And then moving past that, here are the classifications of video games. Just the main ones. There's probably a few I'm missing, so don't freak out and be like, oh my word, he didn't say this title. Yeah, okay, it's all right. It's fine. Now, the way that I got these is I basically asked hardcore gamers, and some of them might be wrong. So again, I apologize if they are, but this is at least an idea of the different categories of games. So first you have MMORPG. It's a massive multiplayer online role-playing game. That's what it stands for. It's any story-driven online video game in which a player taking on a person of a character in a virtual or fantasy world interacts with a large number of players. So examples of this would be World of Warcraft, EverQuest, Terra, RuneScape, and MapleStory. At least that's what people said. So I think World of Warcraft would probably be the best example of that. Number 2, RPG or role-playing game. a game in which each participant assumes the role of a character, generally in a fantasy or science fiction setting, that can interact with the game's imaginary world. Example of this: Titan Quest, Fable 2, Dragon Age, Final Fantasy, yada yada, on and on it goes. Okay, so lots of video games fitting into this category. Number three is a first person shooter, probably one of the most popular types of video games. Video games involving shooting enemies and other targets, in which the player views the action through the eyes of the character they are controlling. Example of this: Halo, such an awesome game; Call of Duty, Bioshock, Doom, Destiny, and tons of others. So there are lots of video games that fit in this category. I could probably make a list, like a Santa list, miles long, of video games that fit into the first person shooter category. Number next, whatever we're on. Sandbox is a do whatever you want environment. It's a style of gameplay in which minimal character limitations are placed on the gamer, allowing the gamer to roam and change the virtual world at will. It emphasizes roaming and allows the gamer to select the tasks that they want to do and or just do whatever the world they want. So a great example of this is, of course, Grand Theft Auto, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Minecraft, Skyrim, and on and on and on it goes. There are lots of games that fit this category. One of my favorites when I was a kid was Roller Coaster Tycoon. That's kind of a build sandbox environment. However, it does have stuff that you might have to follow if you wanted to achieve the park goals. Anyway, that's from back in the past. Okay, so that's Sandbox. RTS is real-time strategy. The game does not progress incrementally in turns. In an RTS, the players position and maneuver units and structures under their control to secure areas of the map and or destroy their opponents' units and structures. So again, I think here's another example where Age of Empires fits into this category in a real-time strategy game, because you actually have to accomplish things in real time, and the game literally takes forever. But it's great, honestly, because like 3 hours later, your eyes are bleeding. You're like, I can't believe we're still playing this. This is so much fun. Rise of Nations, Halo Wars, Command and Conquer, StarCraft, great examples of a real-time strategy game. So if you haven't played one, go for it. Open world games, a go anywhere type of a game. In video games, an open world game is a virtual world in which the player can explore and approach objectives freely, as opposed to the world which are more linear gameplay. So examples of this are No Man's Sky. It just literally goes on forever and ever. It's a huge game. But anyway, Assassin's Creed, um, Far Cry 5, Fallout, GTA 5, and lots of others could fit into the open world category. Social games, a play with your friends type of an atmosphere. Social games are most commonly referred to playing online games that allow or require social interaction between players, as opposed to playing games in solitude. So why not play with your friends? Some people are a social butterfly. You got Farmville, Cityville, The Pioneer Trail, Gardens of Time, Frontierville, on and on and on it goes. Lots of games that can be played socially, to even to the ones that Words with Friends and stuff, where you connect with people and you're playing back and forth. Even games that you text back and forth are pretty cool. There's lots of social games, especially on mobile devices. And then you have mobile devices as a category kind of that. A mobile game is a game played on a phone, tablet, smartwatch, PDA, portable media player, or graphical calculator. I think that is so cool that you can have games on a graphing calculator. Clash of Clans, Pokemon Go, Jurassic Park Builder, Hearthstone, uh, White Tiles 4, and tons of others, mobile ones, Angry Birds, Fruit Ninja, and the like fit into this category. Then rhythm games, play those tunes is what I say. Rhythm games or rhythm action is a genre of music-themed action video game that challenges a player's sense of rhythm. Games in this genre typically focus on dance or a simulated performance of musical instruments and require players to press buttons in a sequence dictated on screen. Sorry. Guitar Hero, Rock Band, Rocksmith, Tap Tap Revenge, Reese, on and on it goes. Lots of these are the types of music games that exist in the rhythm category. Then sports and fighting. feeling athletic would be the term I would put to these games. A sports game is a video game that stimulates the practice of sports. A fighting game is a genre of video game in which gamers battle against another character controlled by another gamer or the gamer's AI. So example is Rocket League, FIFA, Super Smash Bros., Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, um, and lots of other games can fit into this category, of course. Um, my favorite being Super Smash Bros. Yes, it's a great game. Totally play it sometime. Sidescrollers. They are more older types of video games, though there are new ones coming out all the time because, of course, it's retro and people want to build really cool games still. A side scroller basically is a 2D type of a game. It's a type of video game where the side view of the camera is used for action viewing. Side scrollers are usually, generally, I should say, in 2D with game characters that move from left to the right side of the screen. Some side scrollers require users to move in one continuous direction, honestly never stopping. Maple Story, Shovel Knight, Deadlight, Castlevania, Donkey Kong Country, and tons of other ones like Sonic, for instance, would be an example of that. And then a MOBA, massive online battle arena, a subgenre of strategy video games that originated as a subgenre of real-time strategy in which a player controls a single character in a team who competes versus another team of players. Example of this would be League of Legends, Dota, Vainglory, and then Heroes of the Storm, and the like. So there are lots of video games that have fit into the MOBA category. Okay, and then 8-bit video games. One of my favorite ones on the screen, Dig Dug. I would describe this as pixels everywhere. 8-bit games are pixelated, rough, vintage. They're played usually with a joystick on some old computer type device. In an arcade is what they were made for. And back in the day, Dig Dug, Contra, Mega Man 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, Rad Racer, and tons of other ones that exist that are super cool. And then the new kid on the block, the Battle Royale. Every man for himself. Or it could be a team for themselves. It could be duos or squads. You never know. But a Battle Royale game is a video game genre that blends the survival, exploration, and scavenging elements of a survival game with the last man standing gameplay. Example of this are Fortnite, Rust, PUBG, H1Z1, Realm Royale, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and tons of others that fit into this category. And then honorable mentions. You've got party games, arcade, racing games, turn-based, simulation, platform games, survival games, puzzle games, idle games, and .io games. There is a great amount of those popping up on the internet. So I will link down this gameplay trailer, my favorite gameplay trailer for Halo 5, into the description. And I believe that should be everything. Therefore, we're going to end this lesson right there on the genres of video games. Just an introduction, giving you the types of video games that exist. Hopefully this was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.